Yeah, I'm really pleased with the team's competitiveness and fight. I thought our defense was great tonight. I thought we made Miami work really, really hard. For every basket they got, sure, we could point at 3 or 4 mistakes, but that's the way the game goes. I think the spirit of the group and the competitiveness is great. Tonight was just a night where we were a little off kilter offensively, a little bit out of rhythm. There were some times where we had 2 people thinking one thing and 1 person thinking another, and those things are not bothersome to me, because I think over the course of 82 games, there's some nights where it's just a little bit out of whack, but those things are technical and they can be cleaned up. But the competitiveness and the fight of the group is what we want to see every single night, because that's the part that if that thread runs through the whole season, you'll have way more success than not. So, couple good looks that didn't go. I thought, Lowry had some looks that he usually makes that he didn't, especially from 2. But Miami played really hard. That's a tough team, and I thought the physicality was probably about what we expected tonight. On we go.
What are some of the things that these young players are learning over these past few weeks in so many close games?
Yeah, it's that the value of each possession and the value of every minute you're on the court, and that sometimes you look back and you're like, man, that 3 minutes that we just kind of lost focus and they went on an 8-0 run, we'd love to have that back and have it be a 4-0 run or 8-4. That you always look back at a game that's close, and these are the ones where it's easy for your brain to go crazy, because it's what if this, what if that. If I'd made that shot, or if I'd made that free throw, or we'd have been in a different situation. So I think the guys being in these situations, it continues to hammer home the sentiment that we try to have every day, which is that you value every minute you're on the floor. And you can't take it for granted. That's from a personal level, but also from your responsibility to the team. The margins are thin. You lose by 1, you feel awful, but it doesn't mean that it was an awful game all the way through. That's what the win-loss column does to your brain.
I know that you don't want guys being hard on themselves all the time for stuff like that, but is it good sometimes for their brains to go crazy after these?
Yeah, they should be. I don't want them to wallow for long periods of time, but if you lose a game and you're not driving home a little bit pissed off, then this probably isn't for you. It can't be just, okay, well, we lost. It should bother you. We're competitive, but there's a line. I've talked to you guys a lot about the highs and the lows, and you just want the band of emotion to be smaller. But I would expect that everybody on our team, staff, players, we all drive home a little frustrated, things we wish we'd done differently or better. And then tomorrow we come in, we regroup, and we get back to work.
Yeah, as Sarah kind of mentioned, you've had 2 to 3 weeks of pretty solid performances, close games. Was there ever kind of a common thread between all of that, the difference between what was going on earlier?
I think we're just at a point in the season where we're starting to feel some of the cohesion of the group. There's communication on the court. There's a lot of situations, especially in basketball, that are gray. It's not black and white. And so your communication is the only thing that can save you, because especially when you're defending an action or you're playing a 2-man action offensively, the 2 people in it have to be seeing it the same. So I think we're getting some of that cohesion technically, but more than that, I think we have cohesion in the locker room. The personalities, I think the guys know each other way better than they did at the beginning of the year. When you have an influx of a lot of new people, new roles, it takes a second for those things to settle. That's why throughout the season, sometimes you play these teams that have been together, or the core has been together for a long period of time, and it seems like at the end, man, they're just really in sync. And it's yeah, they've done this before. They've done this a lot of times together. So I feel like the group has become more cohesive as the season's gone along, and this is about the time when you start to feel that.
It was another efficient night from Colin. Just what makes him such a tough cover in your eyes?
Impossible to guard one-on-one. He's a really efficient shooter. You know, you have to respect his ability to shoot the three. He has unbelievable body control, like the ability to stop and pivot. You know, some of those little turnarounds he hits in the paint are really impressive athletic plays because of the force that he plays with downhill and then his ability to stop. He also plays so low to the ground that he's able to beat his guy off the dribble. He's really strong. Colin's a hell of a player.
This is the second night in a row that, or back-to-back games where Isaiah's had 9 assists.
Mhm.
He was talking today about just studying his teammates and where they can get open and kind of just really taking that in. I mean, what did you like from how he's finding everyone?
Yeah, I think Isaiah has a better understanding of his teammates. You know, I talked to Isaiah quite a bit about the responsibility that comes with being a lead guard, being a decision maker, and I think he's really doing a good job of recognizing how to best involve his teammates. I think he's seen, not just by playing, but by the time that you're on the bench and you're watching or we watch film, you see the situations where Lowry tends to do well. You see the plays where, okay, I've got to get Colin the ball in this situation because he has the matchup. You know, some of those plays early in the game, like Lowry got the dunk in the first half on the pass over the top on the small screen at the top. Like, we've been working on that since the first day of training camp, and it takes a while sometimes to see it really come to fruition in the games. So Isaiah does a good job of not just doing the work physically. He studies the film. He's somebody he's a little bit obsessed with those things, and I think that comes with being a point guard. So I've really enjoyed coaching him. His understanding is a luxury for us because as a young player, like, he really picks things up quick.
You let the bench guys play quite a bit there in the fourth quarter, and they got the team lead there for a little bit. And given how many guys are out, that's really in a lot of cases guys who are the third group. What did you see from them that you liked from them as they took the lead? Yeah,
I think that group plays together so much in practice that we haven't gotten to see it much in the games. But I think we as a team, the staff and the players, we know that they've played a bunch together, maybe not game minutes, but they've played a lot of minutes together. But I thought their fight, their physicality, I think, you know, Drew, Micah, Kyle, they add a really good physicality for us in that front line. Patty's energy is a little more obvious because he just flies around, but I thought they just dug in. Like, they struggled some in the first half, and we had some conversations at halftime and a few adjustments we wanted to make with them, and I think they responded great. But I thought they just pushed through it. I really thought their energy, like, lifted the building too. Like, there were a couple of moments where I think our fan base really got behind those guys. It was nice to see because they don't always get a ton of, like, prime time, if that makes sense. And I think that it was nice to see how they responded in that fourth quarter.
Thank you.
Thanks.